How do you and talk a little bit about how we go about proving the degree of change in the before and after?
Well, you kind of mentioned your normal. So the first thing we need to do is we need to establish what was your normal. What is the baseline of either your treatment of the injury you had before or what symptoms you had or anything like that. So, and that needs to be before the new injury. So if you're treating the injury, we can obviously get that from medical records. If you're something like my hypothetical, someone's going to the chiropractor, we can see what they're doing and the type of pain they're living with and things like that. You're also going to have to prove, just like any negligence case, that the new injury or the worsening in this case was proximately caused by the actions of the defendant. So that kind of can be really tricky sometimes when there's multiple injuries and it's trying to nail down that actually this worsening also happened in addition to, say, other injuries that may be completely new. So that's obviously a critical point. And then also we have to determine, and it's very critical for damages, how permanent is the change? If we're talking about an exacerbation, then we're only talking about past pain and suffering or current pain and suffering and treatment and medical treatment. If we're talking about an aggravation, that may be a lifetime disability. It may just be lifetime pain and suffering. Those are definitely some distinctions that someone needs to make, and you don't need to rush into settling or trying to move forward with a case like that until you know how permanent is the worsening going to be. So those are kind of the three things that are not really in your normal run-of-the-mill personal injury case that have to be looked at, and those check boxes have to be checked, and you have to really establish those facts and make sure you have all that ready.
And I think to complicate matters even further, sometimes even looking at prior records versus new records, there could be a lack of clarity or a lack of distinction between two problems that are separate but might appear to be related just in a cursory reading of the records. For instance, if you have a client who has a head injury, and this has happened to me, and I know you several times, where they had previously treated for headaches that were actually caused from sinus issues, but they go to the doctor complaining of headaches, they're sinus headaches.
Yeah.
Now they have a head injury, they have a completely different kind of headache that they can describe to you how it's very different, and now it's more related to the post-concussion syndrome or the effects of the brain injury. But on paper, you have a document from before the wreck that says complaint of headaches, and after the wreck, complaint of headaches. So your before and after, if you look at the records, kind of looks the same.